Hello everyone. Let us know more about this new world of prompt engineering. The question these days that everyone is struggling is, when should I use ChatGPT or when should I use Google? But before we delve into there, let's see what is meant by a prompt and how do we engineer our prompts. When you ask Google what is prompt engineering, it gives you a list of links, and you ask again, it gives you the same list of links. But when you ask the same question to ChatGPT, it gives you a paragraph of text explaining what it is. It doesn't give links to some websites which you need to read and understand. In Google, you get a list of stuff, and then you must go through each link and decide whether it's rightly answered in the context that you want or all that is time consuming. So, the other thing about ChatGPT is that it is conversational. You can ask what is prompt engineering, and it gives you a paragraph to read. Then you may have some follow-up questions about one paragraph or maybe one line. You can just copy that line and ask again. You can have a conversation. Or you can tell, I didn't understand your answer. Can you explain again? But with Google, it's not conversational. The conversation capability is there, but what matters is how you ask or how you formulate questions. So you can ask what is prompt engineering, or you ask to explain prompt engineering or give a detailed scenario. For example, I have to contact half an hour session in prompt engineering, and for each of these cases, the answers will be different in case of ChatGPT. But with Google, it will always have the same set of links. So let us attempt at defining prompt engineering. You may define prompt engineering as the art of defining prompts to generate specific high quality response. In simple words, we design our prompts so that the output will be of high quality. And the design part of it is the key, how you design your prompt or how you will ask the questions. With this workflow, you can map the process of prompt engineering. Let's begin. First, you have this need, then you design the prompt. Then put that prompt into the text box, and after receiving the prompt, check if it meets your requirement. If not, you press regenerate. So it doesn't generate the same response for the second time. It is likely to generate the answer slightly differently. The other option is you can redesign your prompt. For example, you say, ask what prompt engineering is, and you didn't receive a desirable answer. You can add more details to your prompt then. For example, if you mention that I work in Google as a data scientist and I am doing a session on prompt engineering, and the answer you receive from GPT will be customized accordingly. Designing the prompt or prompt engineering isn't just supplying the question, it is also about supplying the context and a way to answer to your query. Now, there are three standard ways to design your prompts. First is also known as a role prompt. You can assign a role to your GPT. For instance, you can ask ChatGPT to be an instructional designer and create a course outline, or you can ask it to be a chef and give you a series of recipes for a cookbook. Second is also known as a few shot prompt, where you give a sample answer. You can give an example of an answer to a prompt, and by few short prompts, we mean we are giving a few examples to provide as a guide. The third type is also known as the chain of thought, which is conversational. That means you ask question that is in a conversational way. Think that it means you ask some questions about it and follow up with further questions. It's like a chain of thought going on. Now, chain of thought again can be of two different types. Let's work them out with some examples. In role prompting, you provide an identity here. I assume you are a primary school teacher or a primary school student and explain Independence Day in 50 or more words. So it has taken small sentences and not too many facts about all the people involved in independence. Now you assume you are a historian, explain Independence Day in 50 or more words. Note that the answer is more detailed with facts and mentions important historical figures. This is what role prompting does. Let's try another example. You can assign the role of a chief data analytics officer and then ask GPT to compare Fractal analytics with Accenture. In its response, it compares them in detail. So if you just ask it to compare, which basically becomes a very common question, it will give you a generic answer, and that's a mistake most of us make. As a next example of role prompting, let's try a few short prompt. There are two examples. This hash demarcates the end of an example. I put a description and a code. So the description is errored button that says stop, and then actually the HTML code to say how do you write HTML to show red button label stop. I've written that, then another blue button that contains yellow circles with red borders and so on. So with just description part as your question here, GPT can generate the code. Let's try another example. This example is for the chain of thought prompts. It is important to know that ChatGPT is bad at math as it is just in the text age. For multi-step math problem here, you need to detail out the steps in each of your question. As you see, the first answer here is obviously a wrong answer, as the prompt given is missing the steps to solving the problem. In the second set of example here, you see ChatGPT giving the steps of a complicated solution towards the problem. And with each step, the process here is simplified. So to sum it up, there are three standard ways to design your prompts. Role prompt, where you assign a specific role to ChatGPT, like an instructional designer or a chef, and you can generate relevant content based on that role. Few short prompt, provide sample answers or examples to guide the response, offering a set of instruction or information for ChatGPT to act as a guide. And chain of thought is engage in a conversation by asking a series of questions, building a chain of thought that depends or deepens the interaction. It is most important to note that within each method, the design of the prompt plays a crucial role. The output varies based on the context and the way the questions are framed. Now it's your turn to pick up any of these methods and apply prompt engineering to generate content. Happy prompting!